everyone, my name is Lacey. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have some Taco Bell. I'm gonna eat the Taco Bell. Well, I also have some other things from Taco Bell. I'm gonna eat the Taco Bell and just talk. Some ideas that are in my head are just I want to spread some good vibes. I sometimes need them myself. And today's one of those days where you're just sorry, it's probably loud. Where you're just checking things off my to-do list, getting ready for school starting in a few hours, and just reminding myself that I'm like doing enough. If you guys didn't know, my plan this year is each month do more in the right direction than the month before. And by doing this, I've slowly added things in my list of to do. Like, at first I was just getting acquainted with this house that I live in and then streaming, and then I did do some school stuff. But then now each month I've been doing more martial arts classes or exercise classes throughout the week. I'm working on my content and my streaming stuff more consistently. And then in a few hours, I also started YouTube last month and the merch stuff. And in a few hours, I start school. So I kind of just been doing it in a way that's like slow and consistent. The reason why I'm doing it in this way is I've actually seen evidence of this working, because last month I think if I would have rushed it, I would have lost a little faith in the process a little bit. And so I think by like doing a lot of things, you should go about it in a way that's like a slow progression, so that when things get a little crazy, you don't like instantly assume that it's not working in your favor. But yeah, so today I've been like checking some things off my to-do list, doing some things, and I'm treating myself to some Taco Bell. So here we go. That's good. Does anyone else's taco do this? I mean, I'm still gonna eat it. It tastes exactly the same, but like, oh. But yeah, today I've checked some things on my to-do list. I did stream, I did all that stuff, and I'm making a YouTube video. I cleaned my house, I cleaned my bedroom. Last night I paid for my semester that's coming up. So I've been doing things of that sort, and just reminding myself that everything works out how it's supposed to, and just like take it easy, and that some days may not look exactly like what you're expecting, but those are the moments that you need to keep the faith, keep the process going, and just like believe in yourself more than any day else. Honestly, like those days when everything's going your way, yes, you should keep the faith, of course, duh, because it's going awesome. But it actually is more important probably on those days when you're not in the, well, I wouldn't say in the flow, but like, let's say you're having a little bit more quieter of a day. Those are the days I feel like it's the most important, for you to really trust in the process and believe in your end goal, whatever that may be for you. And just remember that it's going to work out, because like that's just the ebb and flow of life, like, you know. But okay, here's some nachos. Back to this real fast, and then I will talk some more. So I'm gluten free. I do not care about cross contamination because I do not have celiac, so I have to go about the nachos in a different way. I have to take the nacho cheese off because nacho cheese there is not gluten free. But I also take sour cream and tomatoes off just because I don't like them. I got extra beans. So I have the meat, extra beans, the spicy ranch, shredded cheese, and I think that's it. Oh, and the chips, of course, but um but yeah, so it's been one of those days where you just have to be gentle on yourself, be nice on yourself. And I'm not having a bad day by any means. I'm not really like having an upset day. It's just I kind of know that if I push, I'm going to make myself tired. But I did do things off my to-do list today, as in I walked on the treadmill, I did some chores, but I also played Coral Island, one of the games I love to play, and I also took a nap for 30 minutes. So I did, and I streamed. I did do things that were in the right direction and things that were just chill and being potato. And my thing about doing things that are chill or slow mode or whatever you want to call it, those are very important because that reminds you that like you're allowed to relax. I've always had that problem. Like I don't know if any of you guys deal with that, but like my mind, maybe the OCD, doesn't really like to relax. It doesn't really like to chill. And that's kind of why I had to go about what I'm doing in a way that's like in a progression in the right, like each month adding more things because I want to make sure I keep self-care in there, keep like consistent with taking care of myself, be nice to myself, do exercising, like don't get ahead of myself and just being like a hustle mode. Because hustle mode like doesn't really help you in the like it's good for instant gratification, but it doesn't really help you like in the long run because it's not sustainable to your mental health, your physical health. I've done it before, I used to stream, I think I might have said this before, like 200 plus hours a month. Like I did it. And yes, was I successful in those moments? Yes, I was. But I still think it goes back to like the law of attraction, manifesting, because I truly believe that if I streamed those hours, I always would reach my goals. And guess what? I did always reach my goals when I streamed that many hours. But was it good for my mental health? No, it was not at all. Um, so I'm trying to like find the balance of like all of these different things and kind of like doing it in a way that doesn't spread myself too thin and doing it in a way that tricks like teaches my subconscious that it's going to work for me because that is hard to do, like letting your mind know, your subconscious know that to get on board, to know that like to trust the process, to know it's all going to work out. Yeah, so let me think about it. This has been in my fingers for a few minutes. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do this YouTube video right now. Well, also, okay, honestly, you mean tell you what happened? I was sitting there and I was like, oh, Taco Bell sounds good. And then I was like, you should film yourself eating some Taco Bell. Then I was like, no, I want to watch that. What would I even talk about? And I was like, wait, no, film it, do it. The whole point is just, to do it. So I did it. So yeah. I'm like, the whole point is just to be yourself and just do whatever, so why not do it? So hopefully you guys are chilling for this video. You can eat snacks too. You don't have to eat snacks. Sometimes I watch people eat food online and I don't eat, which is like, you would think it would make me want to eat, but it doesn't always. So you never know what you'd be doing while watching this. Dun dun dun. Trying to find like the good ones, I was gonna mention like I'm looking for the ones with all the stuff on it, but like my roommate, I feel like he would like the ones that don't have all the stuff on them. Well, no, I mean he likes those too, but like I've never seen someone eat just like the regular chips. Like, do you guys like regular tortilla chips by themselves? I don't like dislike them, but I usually prefer something to be on them. I forgot there was this broken taco, so I'm just gonna like shovel this in my mouth. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, I went to 4 classes this week, 3 jiu-jitsu, 1 yoga. I've posted a few YouTube videos this week, so I'm just trying to remind myself that I've done some stuff this week. And this video is just to remind yourself that you're doing just enough, like just the way you are. And look at all the things you're doing right, you know? Try not to focus on the things that maybe like you feel as though you didn't do your 100%. Like, let's just take a second to focus on the things that we are doing right, because you are doing more than enough, just the way you are. And beating yourself up for not being this like 100% person all the time isn't going to help you. No human being is 100% all the time, and everyone's 100% is different every day. So just do what you can to show up for yourself for however you can. And yeah. My brain's like saying like, oh, this is why people edit their videos. Like the awkward silences in between is what you edit out. But I'm reminding myself, that's not the point of this. The point of this is to not listen to that voice inside my head that's like, oh my God, shut up. No one wants to hear you. It's to do it anyways and remind others that to speak your truth, be yourself, do what you want to do, you know? If you want to make a YouTube video or YouTube of doing whatever you want to do it, you know? Who's to stop you? I'm not going to stop you. I'm going to root for you, honestly, and tell you that. But yeah, so in like an hour and 2 minutes, I start my statistics class. My first semester in a few months. But you know, each month I've been adding a new thing in, so I feel like this was the right time to go back. And then I think in October I'm gonna take a semester where I do 4 classes at once. If you guys didn't know, I'm in school for marine biology. So this class is for statistics for like environmental people. So even though it's statistics, it'll be about what I want to, you know, do in the future. Like your course project, you get to like decide what your whole project is based on, and it usually can be based off of what your degree is, in one way or another. Like I don't think it has to be, but they usually say like how does this pertain to you? You know, like that's one of the questions in like your stuff is you have to kind of explain how it actually like works with it. And honestly, like even though going to school or being in school makes me feel a little bit more hectic on certain days because of like, you know, life and just having so much going on. It actually has, I have more days where I'm in the flow or like in the zone. Because it's like I'm the closest to being the person of who I'm meant to be. You know, like it reminds me of why I'm doing this. It reminds me of what my purpose is. It reminds me of what brings me joy and why I want to do the things I want to do. So with that being said, if there's anything that you've been called to do, you feel as though you want to do, you should try it. Like it might actually, even if it adds another little stressor to your life, you can find ways to go about it that maybe makes it less stressful. Like I recently, the last semester I caught on to the fact that like it actually is better for me, instead of like on the last day when something's due, instead of going like 6 hours and just hammering it out, like to take hour on, hour off breaks where I do an hour of the class, an hour of like an hour of my assignment, and then an hour of doing nothing, where it's like it could be games or it's self-care or like something completely unrelated to the schoolwork, and then just like going back and forth. And it actually like reminds me like a lot to take care of yourself. Like your mind and your brain, your body want to help you. It knows the answers to the questions, and sometimes when you're like stressed or flustered, you're actually not helping yourself by like forcing yourself to do the work. So you need to take a step back and like reevaluate the situation and go on about it when you maybe feel a little bit better. It is hard to do, especially like, you know, I'm a perfectionist. I have OCD, like diagnosed with it. And it's really hard for me to not like let go of it. But doing schoolwork has actually taught me to let go, you know? Every time I've gotten flustered or anxious, or I'm going to tell you guys, there's been times where I might have missed the assignment, or it was late, or something, and my grade was not the best the first week. Um, when I've trusted the process and I believed in myself, like, and I'm not trying to brag or anything, but like every semester I ended up with a 4.0. So when I didn't beat myself up for what my grade might have been, instead of focused on the now and like let go of like the mess ups I did, I ended up learning from it and realizing that like I do have OCD and I do need more time, and certain times it's okay to ask for help. So in those times when I catch myself doing that, I like reach out to the teacher and we'll talk about it. And I realized that like, having perfectionism does make it a little harder sometimes for me to like not step on my toes when it comes to schoolwork. But I like learned from those processes. I learned to like speak up for myself and realize that like, I might need a little bit extra help sometimes, and every single time I ended up getting an A from it still. Um but like at first, maybe when I didn't ask for the help I needed and I didn't like you can only be told no, like to it's not a problem to ask for help, but like sometimes it's hard to ask for help. Like that's some times where I've been in like the biggest negative part of my life was when I just was like unwilling to ask for help genuinely, not just from friends or family or the universe or even myself. I just kind of pushed it away and I acted like there wasn't a problem. And then, you know, I got to like my rock bottom at one point because I wasn't willing to ask for help. So going to school has actually taught me to be willing to ask for help, to give yourself the time you need, and that your brain does know what it knows. You know what I mean? Like, forcing yourself to do something and not taking care of your brain or body when you're trying to do like an assignment or something, that's not going to help you. You know what I mean? Like, or any kind of work you're doing, any job you're doing, anything you're doing, like forcing yourself to do it when like maybe sometimes it's good to step out of your comfort zone and face your fears, but there is a difference between like facing your fears and doing something that maybe the little voice in your head tells you not to do, like me making this YouTube video, versus, actually doing something that is not beneficial to your health whatsoever. And for each person, you have to decide what that is for you. No one else can decide that for you. No one else can decide when you're like basically forcing yourself to do something despite, maybe the good voice inside of you is telling you not to do it. I feel like for me, as I've learned how to kind of listen to that voice more, I kind of understand the difference in the way they sound. Like one has anxiety behind it and one does not. Like when the good voice is saying for me to slow down, usually I don't have a fight against it. I kind of have like, it comes with a little bit more easier, like, okay, I'm going to listen to this voice. Sometimes that voice happens and I don't listen to it. I decide to go against it. But, like it's once you start to practice listening to it, it becomes a little bit more louder. It comes a little bit more clear. And you kind of can see the difference there. But yeah, I forgot my taco was sitting here and now it's soggy, but it was actually like that voice in my head while I was talking was like, hey, your taco is turning into this. Maybe for 1 second, stop talking and eat your taco. But yeah, like, this isn't even related, but I just thought about this when eating the taco. Like, even the things that sometimes we don't think are good for us or maybe seen as unhealthy, sometimes treating yourself to something like this is so nice to your body and soul. Like there's not ultimately any problem with the Taco Bell or with the food that we eat. It's kind of how we beat ourselves up for it, and then it becomes like a habit of eating it more. But like every human has things they do that maybe someone else would think is unhealthy. So if you have an indulgent and thing you like to eat or do that maybe others don't think it's the healthiest, but it doesn't actually harm you really, like do it every once in a while, especially when maybe you're having a day that you need to treat yourself, like treat yourself, be nice to yourself, like pat yourself on the back and be like, I'm awesome. Okay. I don't think any of that. Well, some of it went in my mouth, but not much. Oh my gosh. So I'm just gonna break it up at this point, you know? I do have a fork right here, but I feel like that's just insane to... I guess I could use one of these chips. Also, I love lettuce. You guys might think this is crazy, but sometimes I get lettuce on my nachos from Taco Bell. Tell me if I'm crazy for that. But I think it's actually pretty good. Like, some people look at me like I'm crazy for that, but who cares? Also, if you guys keep wondering why I keep looking over here, I feel like every time I do it, Jersey Shore Family Vacation is actually playing on my TV right here on volume 0. And I'm not watching it, but it keeps catching me out the corner of my eye. So that's what I keep looking at. But yeah, so this was just a reminder to be nice to yourself. Do something nice for yourself. And look at all the things you are doing right. You know, make a little list of all the things you're doing right and be nice to yourself for it. Pat yourself on the back. Remind yourself that you're doing great just the way you are, and whatever that may mean. Everyone's 100% is going to be different every single day. Treat yourself, be nice to yourself. Don't listen to what others say because, like, or what others think. Because sometimes, for one, we don't even know what other people are thinking unless they tell us. But even then, like, if people are judging you for things that you're doing versus what they're doing, like, and you're not harming anyone, like, who's to say who's in the right or wrong? So just kind of do what feels right to you, because everyone's gonna look different. Everyone's, like, the things that make people happy are gonna look different to everyone. And as long as you're not harming anyone else, or yourself, hopefully, do it. Do what makes you happy. Like, follow your dreams. Do the things that bring you joy, bring you love, and remind yourself why you're doing the things you're doing. You know, like, and maybe start that thing or start that venture that you've wanted to do for a long time. Sorry, lettuce. That you wanted to do for a long time, but like didn't. I wouldn't say the courage, but like didn't. You weren't ready to start it yet. Like, maybe this is the time to start it. Like, you don't have to go do it 100%. Just maybe, you know, look it up. You know, like, let's say you want to go back to school. Look up some schools. You don't have to start it. You don't have to even apply. But, like, just kind of remind yourself why you might be having that feeling. You know, for years, I thought about going back to school. Years. I had, like, stuff up on the streaming site I was on, promoting that I wanted to go back to school for a long time. But I just was so lost in my ways that I, like, always felt like there would be a better time. That there would be this life altering moment when it would make it easy. And when I got to rock bottom and I changed my life, I wasn't even like, you know, I was still paving the way back up. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna apply right now. I'm going to finally apply and finally do the things that I always wanted to start. And really, going back to school has helped me become, like I said, in the flow, makes me remind me what my purpose is. You know, when I close my eyes and I imagine my life in the future, like, it's easier for me to do that when I'm in school, especially because, you know, my classes like talk about what I want to do. And like, I'm doing the school to help the planet. Like, if you guys didn't know, like, I don't plan on, like, yes, I at some point I probably will, you know, make some form of dollar from doing it, but that's not the reason why I want to be a marine biologist, and that's not the reason why I want to do that. I actually want to, like, volunteer my time, and come up with a solution to some environmental problems. Like, I've been thinking about that and helping others want to become involved with it. And That's not exactly why I'm doing the YouTube, but it kind of goes hand in hand with, like, sharing my story and sharing how I see the world, because, like, you can't, like, you know, you can't get other people involved unless you're, like, showing how it works for you. So I kind of am just doing this to, like, remind myself that perfect doesn't exist and that you can just be whoever you want to be. And to be yourself is a beautiful thing. And I just want you guys to know that I think you're amazing and wonderful. And I appreciate you for watching my YouTube videos. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth in these things. That's just kind of my personality. Like, I have, like, my words just come out of my mouth sometimes. But I hope you enjoy my videos. If you want to like, subscribe, comment, do all the above, that would be amazing. It would mean the world to me. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week and a wonderful day.